Hey team, welcome back to my channel. In this video, we'll be diving into one of the coolest features of PostgreSQL 17, the JSON table function. You'll need to upgrade to PostgreSQL 17 to use this feature. Go to github.com, softwareNuggets, then look for the repository PostgreSQL Shorts Resources. Here's a list of files. Notice you have PostgreSQL 17 JSON table.sql. And here's the source code for this video. The first column ID is of type serial, and it's also the primary key. This automatically generates a unique identifier for each row in our table. The second column, inventory data, is of type JSONB. Step 2, inserting sample data. Now that we have our table, let's insert some sample JSON that represents some cars in our dealership inventory. As you can see in the insert statement, we only have one column. ID auto-generates. Inventory data is this JSON object. Here you can see the car attributes like make, model, year, price, and features. Notice how easy it is to add a bunch of cars to our database. In step 3, select all the data. Notice we're going to say select star from dealership inventory. Now the results, you can see ID is our primary key, was auto-generated. In inventory data, the data type is JSONB. Above, you saw the JSON code. Notice it's stored exactly in our database. Let's now write a select statement that uses the JSON table function. So notice we select star from dealership inventory. Notice the results down here. And then when we add our subquery, it's kind of easy to understand. So put a comma here. Our subquery is this code. Now notice that we say JSON table open close. We're going to alias that as JT. And then notice our inventory data source. Now the data source is where you want this function to get its data from. And you remember cars up here has key value. So we're going to be using this key called cars. Now this command, JSON path expression, I'm going to have to show you several examples for you to get it, but it's pretty sweet. So right now I'm saying give me everything in there. Give me all the rows. So when I execute, notice that I get our 3 rows. Now if I come over here and I only want this first row, I can replace this star to be 0. And when I execute this again, notice that we only get the first row, Toyota. Now if I want the second record, I just hit 1, and that gets us the next record. And you notice that's Honda. And what would be the third one? The third one would be Ford. So I just proved it to you. So 2. Now notice that was 0 base, so you got to get used to that. And then we're at Ford. Now we can also do this path right here where we can say 0, 1. That means I want the first and second record. Or I could have went 1, 2 and got the middle and last. And what's also amazing is we can actually use the to from. We can say 0 to 2, and imagine you had 1,000 records in there. And notice that we got the indexes 0, 1, and 2. Okay, so you now understand the path expression. The columns clause is a structure telling PostgreSQL what columns to create. And notice that we're using make, model, year, and price. So columns acts like a mapping between the JSON structure and our desired relational table structure we're trying to create. JSON to table. Now this is the data type, and this is the path to where this field will get its value from. Notice the column features is actually going to go to the array features and only return the first element. Let's see what that looks like. Notice here, features is also an array, and I only want the first element of that. Notice when I run the program, we get the make, model, year, price. Features, we get the first entry. Of course, here's our JSONB and the primary key. When dealing with a subarray, for instance, we know cars is an array of objects, but features is also an array. Let's look at that. Notice features, an array. Notice the way that we came on the top and we said inventory data cars. Well, now we can actually do, this is our new column name, and we're going to say path $features sub-0. That's using the JSON path expression. So this will get the first element in that array. And notice it did that. Now, if I want to get the second element in that array, I can just, just like we learned above. And of course, I can come down there and say 0, 1. That will give me both of them. You get it. And that's how we use a nested filled variable. In step 5, we're going to be selecting specific columns. Notice here my alias is cars, so I can say cars.make, model, make year, and price. You can see how I've defined them here. And then we did an order by, so this right here is the same statement as above, but I'm using individual field names. And on our output, it behaves the same, high to low. And there you have it. With the JSON table function in PostgreSQL 17, you can seamlessly convert JSON into a structured format that's easy to work with. This feature will make your life a lot easier when dealing with JSON. See you in my next video. Take care.